nervous.
Don't be nervous. Okay, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be wonderful. Okay, you ready?
No, I feel like I'm stressed.
No, just sit back. It's almost like we've done the whole entire time. But now I'm gonna say hi, hello, welcome to another episode here on the Carlisle Club podcast. And I've got a very special guest, as usual, on my podcast. Her name is Kate O Meara. Hello, welcome to the podcast, Kate.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming on board. It's been a while since we've discussed this, but I just wanted to let everybody know we're just hanging out. We had a hike today to the Rhodes Memorial from your house.
Oh God, that was quite an adventure in itself.
It was a great adventure. We were angry at some point at everybody.
Felt like crying a bit and nearly got sick.
So it all started Kate knowing exactly where we need to go. And then all of a sudden the route looks a little bit more shrubbery, like there's a lot more plants involved with the hiking route. But Kate did get us back on track and we went to the Rhodes Memorial from our house, which is I actually really enjoyed that route.
I think if we don't experience what happened on the way back, I think it's definitely, I've done it a couple of times, I enjoy it, it's one of my favourite routes, and also the views from Rhodes Memorial is absolutely great and a fantastic spot for a little picnic.
Yeah. But even though we did get lost on the way.
Oh, that was awful.
We had so much fun as friends. This was your idea. We could just go back. We're not walking past the highway. All of those beautiful words that was
and walking near the highway. And then also we had a look at the GPS as well. We had a little scribble of us walking up and down in one spot.
And the worst is Kate told us, no, it's only 20 minutes if we go this way around.
I did tell you at the beginning of the route, this is a new route.
Wouldn't you say, if someone says, it is only 20 minutes if we walk this route. And we're like, okay, well, clearly only 20 minutes extra. Let's go down there. Meanwhile, it was a wild goose chase. And you know what the irony of this whole thing is?
Do tell.
We started the hike with a song about wild goose chases.
Oh my goodness. Oh, trust you to actually, only this would happen with you around.
Like, the day started with a song about wild goose chases. But, Kate and myself, we've been long-time friends. We met in the chess team in high school. But don't you think, Kate, since high school, which is when last time I saw you was almost 20 years ago. Almost.
Sure, yeah, it's just short of.
Well, it's like 2006.
Yeah, it was 2006 when we first met. I was in grade 8, wasn't it? Grade 8?
Yeah, we were in grade
8. And sure, you were in grade 10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sure, hectic, time's flown. Met in the chess club. I didn't know anyone else, and I thought, right, this is a great way to make friends. Let me join the chess club.
Where there is almost no one.
I'm a very one-on-one person.
There was 3 of us in the whole entire. It was me, Kate, and Sheena.
And there was also another bloke, because he was the one who encouraged me to go. It's Jason.
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
But Jason didn't stay long. He bailed before us.
I can't really remember, to be honest. I can't really call that. But I just know he said no. It's a great little people, and it's great to meet people. So
didn't you try to get me to do it? No.
I actually have a feeling that. I just know that we keep saying we met in the chess club.
Yes, and the more I think about it.
The more I think about it, because I remember saying to you not so long ago when you mentioned it again, I'm just like, are you sure? Because for some reason I feel like that's not how the story actually started.
Exactly.
And I don't think we met in the chess club, because for a long time I only remember being with Jason a lot of the time and him busy kind of being friends with me and everything. So
and I actually thought about it yesterday when I think about it. Like, that's why I keep telling you, we played chess together in high school, because yes. I don't think we met at the chess club. Like, the more I thought about it, I wouldn't go to the chess team by myself. I wasn't that type of person.
Not only that, I did mention to you a while back, if you recall, that I said to you, like, are you sure it's like this? I just somehow just don't think it is. It doesn't sound right. I'm sure it must have been through other avenues, but I can't think what it is.
Same, because you definitely...
You know where I could think? JP, because he's the only person that is a mutual person that we knew at the time. And not only that, I was actually friends with JP before I was actually really friends with Crystal and Tess and all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
And JP did a lot of classes with me.
Yeah, so I have a feeling, because I used to go at break and sit in the pavilion, and it just happened to be with Tessa and Crystal and all of them hang out, because I never hung out with...
This makes sense, because remember, I wrestled with JP quite a lot there.
He always used to wrestle in front of the pavilion when I used to go sit for break.
And I was the guy that he was wrestling at the time. So I think that's how we started. And then I think you actually told me, don't I want to come join chess?
I can't remember. I can't remember how I was initiated, but I have a feeling it was JP. Reason also is because I only used to ride with Tessa. I never used to socialize with her at school. And they used to sit in close proximity, and you were under the impression that I introduced you to them, but it actually wasn't.
Yeah.
I introduced you to them as classmates,
and
but
you
not
were like,
friends.
oh my word, this story is getting a lot deeper. Because I was thinking that, I keep saying it, but I don't even remember how I got to the mindset of playing chess.
It's so not a you thing.
Right?
It's very much a me thing, not you thing.
But I still play it. I like all of these years I've been playing chess since high school, and I actually really like that I've done it.
You're always better than me.
Well, it's something I didn't thought would be a me thing, and it is actually a me thing if you think about it.
You know what's so awesome? We rocked up to a wedding, like, let's see how many years later. Added another 10, added another 4. So, we got, many
14 years later, we go to a mutual friend a friend of mine that I met also, there's a stranger in America. I go to his wedding with you. 2 very close people to me who didn't even know they existed.
16 years ago. 16 years later.
We played chess at his wedding.
We played another game of chess.
I think that's a cool photo, the one I took you with the chess set.
I actually like it. I normally, if I could say, I'm always such a poser with photos, because I never want to look bad in a photo or anything. Because I must say, you took a very good one, and it was natural. I didn't even know you were taking.
But that's why I tell people is the more you try and pose for the photo, the more you're not gonna like it.
But not only that, you know what? I think you just caught everything right, because you caught me actually, and you can see I was smiling. I was smiling, but I wasn't smiling.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were just vibing.
Yes, that's right. I was vibing.
You
could tell by me just couched over, just hardcore stares at the chest, with and just a whole cold beer.
Yeah. Just a beer and a chest team. You're just vibing. Okay, this is happening. And we've got a phenomenal view.
Exactly.
The weather was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. It's quite... Sure, I tell you, it's the event. You know what? At the time, it didn't seem like quite a whirlwind adventure, but that weekend was amazing. I really enjoyed myself.
It is crazy, and also, that's why I was saying, never I would have imagined that with that chick in the chess team, we would actually go on a weekend holiday with each other somewhere.
No. And you know what, at the same time, it turned out that the chess club actually worked for me, because I purely joined up with the desire of making a friend.
Oh my God, full circle. And you did make a life friend. Damn, okay.
So obviously, that's
there
where
you guys
one
hear
needs
it.
to meet.
Chase is where you make lifelong friends. And we are proof of this.
Exactly.
No one can deny this fact.
No.
The
odds are very much stacked in favors of maybe rugby and stuff, but that's only because there's more people.
I dare someone to try and disprove me. It's are you trying to say I'm not friends with Kate? Are you implying this? Because she will also tell you.
Oh my goodness, sure. But Ariel, I must say, I just love this, reflecting back on just the memories of everything. I remember you remember a couple of times you've spoken about you coming to the horse
I went with you guys, but also we walked I'll walk you home because your route is kind of still my route, but I would walk you to your house and then I would take my bicycle home from there. And that was also a natural thing, like we weren't even in the same grade or anything, and I just even on days that wasn't chess.
No, it's just a natural. We actually ended up almost walking home with each other every single day.
Exactly.
It's just a natural progression. See, that's like proper friendship. None of this forced or anything. Everything just naturally progresses, and you know, as we were chatting earlier on today, that's where you get your foundation, as we call it. Trust.
Yeah, trust.
Love
and loyalty. And those are the three ingredients to a perfect friendship.
Yes.
And that comes from conversation and communication.
Exactly. But also, what was that word you taught me?
Idiolect.
Idiolect, yes. And that's important, because if you can't identify it, idiolating.
Someone's idiolate. We speak but anyway, seeing the true version of that person at that moment, just living for that moment.
And it's not always easy to see people, you know, within their true form. It's a slight glimpse in time. It's almost like peeking through a keyhole for a fraction of a second before the light disappears. To me, I believe that not everyone can see it. I believe it's something that you are born with, or you have learned from a very young age to identify it. But as an adult, I don't think a lot of people, unless you've experienced it or you know it, it's difficult to really teach an adult what it is. So I'm glad that I can actually see that.
But I'm also thinking not everybody wants to see it or looks for it either. And I think that's a part that can be stretched out far beyond people. You know, seeing the world for what it is and not something else, because we are so tainted with our day-to-day lives and the rat race of the world. That's just a tree.
That's true. I'm stuck in the rat race of the world, unfortunately.
And then you just like, you know what, that thing, by photosynthesis, by the sun, you know, like manipulating light, UV, from the sun, it is generating oxygen from its leaves. And this living entity, is probably older than most of the other living animals on this planet. Just think about how old trees and how long they've stayed alive.
Yeah, well, there's some of them they've picked up in the world where, I don't know whether it's through natural disaster or what, but where they actually have cut them open and they've started counting the ringlet, and they found some of them are just so old, like hundreds of years old. Like, imagine being on the earth hundreds of years old and just watching everything go by, how things
change. Yeah, but some of them are thousands of years. So you start telling to me, I think that's where the stereotype comes from, that trees are wise. You know, those
I've never even thought about it.
Because they have been alive longer than any other living thing.
Yeah.
Just think about any
They've
mammal
been able to observe
or
the natural progression of things
and see without completely objectively, just seeing how things change throughout the years, and they are wise because they have seen it happen.
Sure.
That's
true. That actually is a very valid point.
There's actually a band called If Trees Could Talk. Which I thought was a really cool band name.
I quite like it actually. It's unusual. It's not boring.
Yeah, and it also makes you think also a little bit. Just by the name of the band, you're already thinking, yeah, if trees could... Damn, even with the name, it's already deep.
That's true, hey? Sure. That's a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But if you were earlier today, you were kind of like, I laughed at it, but you said you fear that you might lose the friendship again. But what I wanted to ask you is, don't you think by the fact that time we spend as friends apart, right? We are here together again and we are friends, and it just left off from where it was.
I agree with that. Like,
I think that needed to happen for that amount of time.
I think yes and no. I can't really... It's difficult for me to put into, try and imagine how things would have unfolded and progressed if we actually, never lost the distance. And Yeah, it's more of the fear of just kind of being in the same situation where, you know, so many years fly by, and it's not to say the friendship was lost, it's just to say that it was, you know, it just you know, quietened for many many years, and I don't want it to quiet again. And I think now, like, I think with everything that's unfolded, I don't think it will happen again.
But also, we've got better technology to keep in touch now.
Oh yes, no, for sure.
But I was speaking to Anthony the other day, and me and him also spend a bunch of time that I also know from high school. I mean, I know him from when I was in grade 9. And we also spent a lot of time away from each other when I went abroad as well, and to Pretoria and all of those things. But we said the other day, it was actually quite crazy, because there are sides of each other that we don't know. Like, he doesn't know the intense drinking Carl, and I didn't know the intense drinking him. We both partied together, but there were dark times in our lives that we weren't in each other's lives.
You know what's funny? You don't even know when I went through a stage like that.
Exactly.
And mine's more recent. You had it much earlier on in your adolescence, whereas I had it more recently.
But what I'm saying is, where I want to get at is, perhaps we needed to spend that time apart, because who says I know I'm friends with him, but maybe we wouldn't have liked who that person was during that time, and we're glad we could have progressed beyond it. So let's say you would have met a really, you know, partied up version of me, which I didn't like, which I've outgrown. That would have also probably changed your perspective on me as a human. So perhaps spending some time apart in the best and the worst times is sometimes best for a relationship or a friendship.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. So, like, everyone talks about, like, regardless as to the friendship, just a solid, like, relationship per se, whether it be a passionate one or a non-passionate one, but either way, all relationships are loving. And, you know, sometimes it's not always, I don't find it's always the best thing to say, you know what, it's best to see the person's worst side, because then you can, you know, not learn, but then you get to enjoy the best. And to me, I don't think it's always good always seeing everyone's bad side, because sometimes it's not something that should ever be welcomed, in the sense that it might not be something that you would be able to, if I could say, withstand the tests of time, or maybe it would be too much, or you wouldn't be able to. And, you know, that can break a friendship, it can break a marriage, it can break a passionate like relationship. So I to me, if a person goes through their worst, it's great, but it almost comes through like a notion, like a notion these days, in terms of encouraging it like it's a good thing. Me personally, I don't think it's always a good thing, because sometimes it ends up actually ruining things.
But I see it as a dance. For instance, imagine you're standing in front of a mirror, just imagine a mirror-like dance. If you move away from the mirror and move closer to the mirror. So I see, for instance, my friendship with you and my friendship with most of my other friends, with Anthony as well. And this is how I see it, how beautiful it is that at certain times we move away from that mirror image, we move away our friendship further and further, and then we like concave back to each other at certain points. And being able to value that smaller period of time before moving apart again. Because that small amount of time is so valuable for the friendship. It lasts when the dance moves back again. So I've seen it to be able to do that type of dance, where to move away from a mirror and move away from someone's friendship, and to come back again and still have that solid foundation that you're talking about. I feel it's beautiful to be able to dance like that. Like a lot of people use this metaphor as riding different waves, but ending up at the same sunset.
I like that. I've never heard of that. I like that saying. And
I like seeing my friends like that, because everybody that's truly mattered in my life, I've done this dance, moved away at places where I thought, like, yes, if Kate would have known this version of me, we probably wouldn't have been friends. But it's beautiful that we've ended up together. And now, even though the time is short, more value is gained as a friendship or as individuals in that time than what most people would see in their lifetimes, because I don't think the concept of having a friend where you're in a society where you add friends on Facebook, but having personal bonds with people, I think that is way more important, and to be able to see that value.
I tend to agree with that. That it is hard to find, and it's, if it was that easy, everyone would have it, everyone would be doing it, but I'm just, I'm glad that in my life I've managed to meet very select few people, and the nice thing is I know once I've got them for life. I don't like with this phase in, phase out kind of friendships. It's not to say that I don't welcome them. I don't know, I've always been very much a one-on-one person my whole entire life. That's where you have an advantage over me, is the fact that you're very people oriented. People draw to you, whereas I tend to find people a little bit more mysterious, a little bit more difficult to grasp. So I'm very much that favor in one-on-one. Actually get to know the individual itself rather than in a crowd or anything. It just makes life so much easier. It's more understanding. You get to know the person, but then that's also where people move away, because a lot of people don't want to be known on such a personal basis because they feel vulnerable, they feel weak.
Do you know what's one of the weirdest things that I've been struggling with lately is, like, for instance, you would say people are naturally drawn to me. One of the saddest things in my life is I want to know what these people see that I don't see. The other day I sat there and I was literally thinking to myself, do I know who I am? Am I actually aware of me as a human being? Because I want to know what any person sees in me that I don't see, and why are they drawn to me? For what reason? Because I don't see it. Someone would speak highly of me and I would be like, I'm there. I'm that person you're talking about, but why don't I acknowledge or hear what this person is saying about me?
I think in many ways, I feel you don't always act around the same around everyone either. So I feel in terms of just as a general, I think people drawn to you is because you got that bubbly kind of, it's almost like a very kind of bubbly atmosphere. You create your own atmosphere around you. And it draws people in because you laugh, you make jokes and things. And the thing is, people are attracted to the idea of happiness. They're attracted to laughter. And you basically ooze or portray it. You're an atmosphere. As soon as they go within your close proximity to you and they breathe in your atmosphere, they instantaneously, they're breathing in all of these kind of happy chemicals, if I could call it, and they're almost getting the high from it. But then that's where I say, that's where the difference comes in, is a lot of people initially be attracted to that, but as many discussions we've had is, as soon as they find out that, the atmosphere isn't filled with, if you could call it just oxygen, but there's also other gases in between, suddenly as soon as they experience that it's not all laughy, happy, ha 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 all the time, and you can't entertain them all the time, and then you said, okay, cool, now it's your turn to entertain me, then all of a sudden, people aren't so receptive of that.
No, do you know what it is? It's way more simpler than that. You already said it in the beginning. I create my own atmosphere. The irony of this whole entire thing is that I live with so much depression and anxiety that I need to create my own little universe in my head, okay? And wherever I go, I'm trying to create a world that I want to live in. Now that one is drawn to that, like you say that, but I know the reason I'm creating this is because I am not happy the whole time, and now I need to create a world that I want to live in. But people don't see that. They see, wow, this person is always, wow, what a wonderful human being. Look how happy he is. But I don't see it because I know what this person is drawn to is subject of me trying to avoid being a fucking buzzkill the whole time.
But
it makes it worse.
It does in a way, but I still believe that you are slightly you change a bit. As soon as someone actually gets to know you, you actually open up and they get to know you. I find that there's so much more to you. Like, for example, you're kind and generous. Now, you laugh and joke and everything, which people can perceive that as being kind, but it's actually not. You're very, very, you're like, for instance, I can only talk about me. I can't talk about Anthony, but I'm sure Anthony has experienced the exact same thing from his side as well, because I wouldn't believe that you treat myself and Anthony any different. But at the end of the day, I think you are very kind, you're very nurturing, you're very caring, and you know, I don't believe you actually truly show that to everyone. I think you only show it to a select few, and you know, that's where people get to miss out on things. So it's not just, yes, you all, you know, from the surface point, yes, you're fun and bubbly and you laugh and make jokes and everything, make everyone smile and everything, but that's just a temporary thing. People don't look past that. And also at the same time, I also think that, you know, maybe you're so busy doing a song and dance all the time that people actually don't really get to know you. And because of that, you almost feel like these people automatically drawn in and they leave, and then they come in waves and then they leave. So they're forever flowing into your life, but there's only a select few constants.
But don't you think in your own personal life, you know, like, remember how I told you about from how I know you and how a lot of people talk about you? I'm experiencing the other polar opposite of that. Like, most people would see you as being cold or heartless, or most people are afraid of you, you know, and things like that. And to me, and I've heard many people say that, right, about you. And that's where I'm going to get out with it. But like, I saw you, we actually told this to each other several times. We're like polar opposites of human beings. But now people see another version of you as, wow, Kate City, cold and heartless person, or why all of these people are afraid of you. And I'm thinking to myself, you're like one of the nicest, sweetest, chill, most adorable people in the world.
Watch your word, Adoraboo-boos.
Adoraboo-boo, yeah. You're Adoraboo-boo. And then I'm thinking to myself, it's so weird. Like, after all these years, people speak about you like that, and it's like, I've never experienced that about you. It's like people don't care to actually get to know you.
Yeah, I think that's what it really is. I think people are just shallow. If you're not basically parading yourself around and basically doing what meets the masses, then automatically you get rejected. And unfortunately, I'm not a naturally sunny disposition person. I'm naturally a very serious person. So for me to have a laugh and things, it is a bit more difficult for that. I'm not the one who normally, you know, encourages the laughter. But I don't know. And also sometimes I laugh at things that most people don't even understand, and that makes things slightly difficult even in its own right.
Yeah.
So it's funny that.
But also, we're both creating a world that's easier for us to live in, because you are someone who observes a lot. You don't prefer that social confrontation, because where I am, I'm fine. I'm just surveying the scene. That's where you are. And people being up in your bubble, then you have to build those walls. And I think a lot of people see as you just building a wall to protect yourself from, just leave me alone, I'm fine, as you being cold or serious. Meanwhile, wherever you are, people, you don't need to ask you constantly, are you okay? Are you fine? You are fine. I'm actually in my element.
Leave me alone.
Just fuck off, you know? And that's why I would see people see us cold, because why isn't she bubbly and up and down and having fun? Meanwhile, that's her version of fun.
Exactly.
And if you just bother to get to know this person, you would get to know in what type of setting you need to hang with this person.
Yeah, I tend to agree with everything that you said. It is very much like that. Unfortunately, people are very shallow in the sense that they only see what's they can't see past their own nose, and it does make for a challenging world. But you know, in many ways, I wish I was being blessed with a bit more social skills, but There's what it is, and
you see, but I feel social skills can be learned, but
no, they are definitely so.
But I feel we mistake having social skills with, you know, you can still just be yourself regardless, and you need to actually accept the people who accepts you.
Yeah, but also at the same time, in a professional capacity, you also need
I got you.
That's where it really affects us in a professional capacity.
Yeah, because you can't always be yourself in a professional capacity.
Exactly. I can only imagine you being in a professional capacity and being this kind of jokey joke person. I can't imagine that going down too well.
You know what? That's actually my downfall. I don't have an off switch, Kate.
Oh.
I don't have an off switch.
Well, I'm pretty fucking blunt, so I'll tell you, in a professional capacity, that doesn't always work in my favour either, but I try.
I think that's why corporate has been really killing me emotionally.
I've never imagined you in corporate ever.
Exactly, but I also feel, and this is hard to tell people because you have a job and people will kill for a job, and you know you got one side on your brain, and then you've got the other side of your brain saying like, listen, I feel so uncomfortable where I am right now, like regardless of professional or not, I just don't feel comfortable, and it's the first time working in an office I've ever felt like that. And I've been doing this for like 4 years now, so and I thought like having an opportunity where I can kind of escape this, I'm at least going to try and go for it. And I feel if there are opportunities, we shouldn't let fear keep us from something that we want.
Easier said than done sometimes.
I know, because fear isn't a casual thing.
No.
You know, fear.
Not something you just toss a dirty sock to the side.
Yeah, it's not like I don't like raisins. Fear is, oh my fuck, get those raisins away from me, versus ew, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Life is over kind of vibes versus, okay, I'm not schmucking this vibe.
Yeah, and like being, you know, frightened. It's not easy to conquer fear. And I feel like the word fear is being used loosely in modern society.
What do you mean?
Like, for instance, don't let things you fear prevent you from what you want in life. But you're like, if you can dream it, you can do it. No, it's not the same thing.
No.
Being able to conquer something you are afraid of, petrified of, that is nothing easy.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, it's difficult because I'm just trying to think now, like, there is someone, like, the right word would be used, like, fearful to take a risk, but I think fearful is right. I think saying, you know, to be petrified by something, I think that's more of a stronger word to actually, you know, to the point where you can't go forward anymore without, you know, seeking, you know, help, and you just completely unable to move forward completely. But yeah, it's,
I used to be scared of dying.
Isn't everyone?
No, not everyone. Some people have totally abandoned that fear.
I don't know, like, it's, I don't know, there's some strange things that's come across in my mind. I'd never share it in a public setting, but very strange ideas, and I know they're strange because I know we get ridiculed
but
for them.
This is going to be a public podcast.
That's why I'm not mentioning exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, but one. But here it is.
I haven't said what I'm thinking. I'm just saying I have thought of very unusual ideas and things where, you know, for select individuals, I can see why one wouldn't actually fear it. And why should it actually be feared? Like, what is, if one thinks about it, what is actually frightening? The only thing that I fear about death when it comes, that makes it frightening is if I had to suffer. If it's just quick, I fell asleep in my sleep, or I choked on a teaspoon of water and it was over within a matter of a minute.
See that those people, it's not fearing death; they fear suffering.
Yes, exactly. So that's what I say now. Death isn't basically what I would fear. It's suffering.
You fear growing old. You fear.
No,
but I'm saying most people, when they think about death, you're not fearing of. I mean, death itself. You're fearing of suffering, or growing old and not being able to walk, or not being able to hear or see.
A lot of the time, you hear people, regardless of the age, you hear a lot of people blatantly always say, if I'm ever in a coma, or if I'm a vegetable, whatever, just cut the cord and everything. And there's no fear in saying a statement like that because of it's due to death. It's because of suffering. People are terrified of suffering, but they get confused with maybe the words they use, or they just kind of blatantly don't think as to which words actually should be used.
But some of that can also be seen as brave. Like, listen, I don't see this as living. I'm brave enough to accept death.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it's also, it's also been selfish.
Is it even living if you're not living?
Yeah. So that's why I say, look, it's not, I don't think it's a clean, cut, dry kind of
conversation,
because there's so many elements and there's so many different individuals that it affects at the end of the day. That's why it's just, it will never be a clean cut dry. You can get some pretty smart Alex out there who have got all the fancy words, and they sound really kind of like they just use bigger words, or they basically compound meanings, and it sounds fancy and it sounds like they're intelligent, but at the end of the day it's not. They're just using a couple of simple tactics to sound like they're coming to a conclusion with something, and it sounds ultra intelligent. Meanwhile, they actually haven't really said anything at the end of the day.
But also, to answer your question, no, not everyone fears death.
No.
But yeah, I stopped fearing it by accepting. I've come to know that I fear that I would die not achieving something on this planet. I think that is a bigger fear than death. I don't want to die before I haven't accomplished something, so I want to try and accomplish something now before I die, and I don't know if it's tomorrow.
It's one way of looking at it. Another way to look at it is, for example, I actually don't fear it at all. However, I think if I ever had children, my mind would be changed, and then I'll be fearful for death, because I would be fearful towards their security, and there would be a fear of basically leaving them to fend for themselves. So
yeah.
I would say my mind would probably be changed then, but right now, because it's me, myself and I, and it's just the three of us, there's no fear, because there's no loss. What's there to lose? Nothing.
Because they're the three best friends that you'll ever have.
I think that's like the third or the fourth time you pulled that one. I was like, right, here's my, let me fill out the card.
It's reference humor.
What's that plastic thing?
So this thing has got a plastic thing just to keep it from other stuff going in the breathing hole, like stuff you put in your pockets and stuff, and dust.
The cotton and all that.
Yeah, so I put a cover on so I can preserve the holes and not block it.
So you got yourself a gold pen instead of a silver one now.
Yeah, go for gold. That's what Olympians do.
No, it looks like a flatty. Looks like a flatty you got this time. The other one's more rounded.
Yeah, but what I liked about the old one is I could replace only the juice. Now, this thing is a little bit more wasteful, and you need to throw this whole thing away.
Is that a once-off thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like the other one, so I can just put in the new juice.
Yeah. But then you'll probably get that probably when you go back overseas, won't you? Probably cheaper over there.
Probably, but I'm just trying to stay away from this stuff. I've got a love-hate relationship with it.
Don't you think that's quite comical?
Very. It's very...
No, what I mean is, like, I feel like it's almost like shadowing, like, drinking. It's a love-hate relationship kind of thing.
It is. And how much I allow it in my life.
Sam, do you want to close the curtain a bit?
No, I'm enjoying the sun as far as possible.
Okay.
Like, I'm sitting in the sun.
Okay, no, just
until it hits my eyeballs, I'm going to have to move. But so far, I see the sun is creeping into my eyeballs. Now, yeah, let me move in this side. Hold on.
Well, you can always pull the curtain a bit so you can still look outside. Just
no, I'm going to cool down now.
Okay.
I'm going to cool down now.
Oh, you can cool down.
Yeah. So, no, what I wanted to say is, the love-hate is, I love what comes from it, but I hate how I think on it. So, I get most of my creative and ideas and breakthroughs mentally with looking at myself from another perspective versus the outcome of it is I'm very hard on myself at the same time, because I do realize I do need to achieve more with my life, and I also start to address most of my faults on an extreme level.
Do you feel unfulfilled?
I feel unaccomplished.
Okay.
I feel I'm 32 years old, and that's what I say. Most people look at me and think, wow, what an interesting person, wow. And then I feel like I don't feel like I have accomplished anything.
What do you need in order to feel accomplished? What do
I
you
don't
think you
know.
need?
I don't know. Because I've done almost everything. Literally.
Maybe that's the thing, because that's also like maybe it's very similar as to how I'm feeling, because I feel unfulfilled, and it's maybe because I've had so much and I'm always living a life of go all the time. It's such a fast pace that when you finally slow down and you're in a way forced to actually start breathing again, and you are more set at a pace of a stroll, you're almost in a way frustrated because you feel like you're not going anywhere, and meanwhile you're just used to a different pace to everyone else.
It's like exactly that. We are grown up being able to keep tabs on everyone around you, and you can see what people are doing with their lives. And that's not, I don't want to be part of that anymore. Like, I don't want to feel like whatever I'm doing with my life is aligned with what society wants me to be.
But all of that's fake, online. All of these poses and people enjoying themselves, and everything is fake smiles, fake everything. Everyone's trying to out-compete each other. We all fall into this trap, or at least at some point in our lives we have.
I'm just thinking, I come to a point where I wanna start doing things for me. What I do with my life, I do for me.
But haven't you always done that?
I feel like there's a lot of pressure, a lot of people expecting things from me.
Expectations, yes.
And I don't want that. But I also got expectations for myself. My expectations for myself outreaches what anyone has to say about me. And I think that's why I'm so hard on myself. But also, when someone like you or someone else tells me, dude, you need to try and take things slower, and I'm like, fuck no, I'm not going to take things slower.
But also, if you are so busy trying to run and you haven't even decided what direction you're going in, you're basically running in circles the whole time.
Exactly.
You're just exhausting yourself.
When is it going to stop?
Just slow down, take a stroll, decide what direction you want to go, and then start bolting. Put the blinkers on, get on, go.
I'm already too far, you know. I'm already chose something, and I'm going to do it.
Do it then.
And I'm just feeling like
it's not, you got so much time ahead of you. You got so much time ahead of you that it's okay to actually go down a path that you're not sure of. It's okay to still make mistakes. I believe everything is okay up until the age of 50. By 50, you should know what the fuck you're doing and where you're going. Because at the end of the day, this bullshit about, you have to have everything settled and everything fine because of retirement and everything by the age of 65. fuck that. No one can retire these days, and they're going to increase the ages more and more as we progress on because people are living longer. People can't afford to retire. So, to me, I'm not going to stress about these things because I just think it's nonsense. But I don't know. Maybe there's just something silly.
I've noticed, and I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, my eye started twitching a lot lately, my right eye. And I'm like, why is my right eye? You think of that.
It's through eye strain, I get it.
Also, it makes me think of those cartoon
Oh.
something's gonna happen, eye twitch. Like
Yes.
as my body naturally.
I know what you mean. Like kind of do the eye twitch in the cartoons, like they're about to explode or get angry or something.
Yeah, like sometimes my eye twitch, I'm like, am I going crazy?
Oh yes, there's that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Shit,
forgot
what
about
have I been thinking about this whole time?
Yeah, no, I get them too sometimes, and then also sometimes, which I thought was really cool, was sometimes you almost get like almost looks like a bubble that's falling across your vision. It almost looks like a piece of dust that almost falls across your vision. It's like a small little bubble. You can see it in your eyesight, if I could put it that way, but it's in your eye. And like when I was at varsity, I learned that is actually your eye busy shedding basically dead cells, and it's basically the dead cells that are on the top of your eye are just falling down, and because they are basically falling through your iris and basically falling through the window of where light comes in, it reflects off it and your eye picks it up, and that's how you're able to see it. And it's just insane with the fact that you're looking at a dead like cell that is so minute that you would not even see an individual cell. You would not even see it.
But you can see it.
But you can see it when it's in your eye.
Yeah. That's bonkers.
I thought that was insane when I learned that. I learned it in physics.
I'm like, you can actually see.
No.
But
you
but
can't
don't
see it with your normal eyesight, but because it's basically falling right at the back of where the light basically refracts in your eye, that you
the
can
cornea.
able to see it. Yeah, no, this is the cornea. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what the exact point is called, but yeah, it's just insane with the light refracting off it, and because it's so close to basically where the eye actually gets refracted in. The light gets refracted in your eye right at the very back of the socket. It's insane. Yeah.
But a lot of people would register what they are seeing or know what they're seeing. So that's
exactly.
The magnitude of that is even.
Just imagine someone one day decided they saw it and they were just like, "What is this?" And they went through on a scientific adventure to discover that it was a dead cell.
Imagine. An organ in your body has named itself.
What do you mean?
There's an organ in your body that gave itself a name.
What do you mean?
The brain.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about that. Wow! I didn't even think about that.
Right?
Yes. I didn't even think. Gee whiskers! I have never. Wow.
So the brain basically named itself.
That's how bloody... That is power tool of notes.
Right? So...
And people are worried about, like, these robots taking over the world, eh? Meanwhile, there's a fucking piece of organic material that named itself. That's even 10 times more scary than Terminator.
Just think about the magnitude of that. There is cells have expanded to a point where these cells as a cumulative bunch, which got like cartilage and all kinds of blood vessels and everything inside of it. So this spongy tactile organ decided, I am the brain. That is...
I can't believe it. How did you even think of that? Like, that would never even...
Do you know where it started? So I was writing in my book one day, and I'm thinking to myself, my fingers are just bone and skin, like a machine where my brain decides what I'm doing, and I am thinking things that I'm writing down in a physical format, and someone else can see what is going on in my head. They can read it. the fact that me and you are talking, my brain is physically communicating via just wind and manipulation of my tongue. Your brain can analyze that via external organs and know exactly what my brain is thinking.
I tell you, when you break it down, it sounds absolutely insane. Like, I feel like I'm high busy having this conversation. I'm not. Because this is the kind of stuff that I would think I would only talk about or really have a look at if I was high. But this is... It's so true. And yet it's so obvious. And yet, you know, I don't even think about it.
So I went then like, what is telling the rest of my body to do? My brain. Oh my word, my brain is thinking what I'm thinking and hearing right now. And from there I came to the point where I thought to myself, open up a biology book. And I'm thinking, and I just saw that organ. I'm thinking to myself, no fucking way. This nervous system is just connected by your nervous system is just basically little electrons manipulating your body with electricity to make certain movements. So your brain is the puppet master of this exoskeleton and the choices it makes.
I can't help but another thought came to mind now. Just you bringing up this matter is, just think about how crazy it is with the fact that if you have to have brain surgery, you have to have surgery while you're still awake. Like, literally, they're poking around in your brain, asking if you feel like, do you feel something in your arm? Do you feel something in your foot? Can you move it? And they do that through all electrical stimulus.
Just think about it. The brain also had to do research in order to stay alive. How to manipulate other people's bodies in order to keep it alive.
Can I tell you something? If you want to go even far as that, you know how the brain is so addicted to sugar? The brain invented McDonald's. Gee whiz. It literally invented its own crack cocaine.
The brain also invented other brains to be able to manipulate the rest of those brains to give that brain more money. In order to be more powerful and be like the super brain connecting being in charge of the rest of the world.
Oh God, you've lost me with that one. You got to backtrack with that one.
So my brain wants to survive longer than any other brain. So my brain decides I'm going to control the rest of those brains with things like fast food and TV in order for me to just stay alive longer and have
mass production, sales,
sales being more the richest and everything.
Also, think about it. It used to be brawn. Brawn used to actually win over everything.
Wait.
Now the new sex appeal is the brain.
There are kids making millions with technology. You don't even know how it works.
I know. I know. It's insane. And the thing is, in terms of old school things, you always associate something with, if I could say riches, you always associate with something tangible. There's people with so many riches, it's unbelievable, and it's not even tangible. There are rich people on this planet that don't even have a single tangible piece of cent to their name.
If someone has to pay cash, they wouldn't know how.
They don't tangibly have it. They've got like cryptocurrency, and crypto is non-tangible. Like, they literally don't have money, and yet they're considered as the richest people in the world. How crazy is that? How have we skewed what value means? What does rich...
But imagine if all of the machines... Okay, that is how you're rich. All of the machines have to die right now. Poof, who's the richest?
Yeah, true. Laborers. Because they get paid in cash.
Not even that. They know how to survive.
That's true as well. Yeah. Shit. But that's also with COVID. If you have a look... I can't speak of the rest of the world, but specific South Africa, if you have a look at COVID, who was the least affected? The economic earners. They were the labor class. They were the least affected, was middle class and you know the classes above
people
that.
Doing deliveries and all kinds of things.
They were severely impacted by COVID. So you know what? If you have a look at if something were to truly happen drastically and terribly tomorrow, who would actually survive? It would be the laborer/economic class.
That's why I like Fight Club so much. It was one of my favorite movies.
Movie, yeah.
But also he created a cult, between inverted commas, where all of these, we are the people who take out your trash. We are the people who look after you while you're at sleep tonight. Don't fuck with us. I thought that was
Let's watch it again.
So when they get people to join Fight Club, eventually was like this really well organized people who stick it to the man, and they blew up all of those banks.
God, I don't even remember banks being involved. I just saw as a loony guy busy.
No, at the end of Fight Club, he went so crazy in his head. He had like a multiple personality.
Yeah.
And he started blowing up all of the banks just to set everybody's debt to zero again.
Oh, I remember something about that.
The very end scene, Marla comes in and holds his hand, and the pixie start, Where's My Mind start blank, and all of those banks blow up, and he looks over at Marla. It's probably one of the most beautiful love scenes either. How this guy's crazy, has got split personality, he started a cult, and he just didn't give a fuck anymore. And he look over to this girl and he tells her, you have met me at a really strange time in my life.
Strange time.
After he just blew himself up, like he tried to commit suicide to get rid of his alter ego. And survived. It is crazy. He literally had to kill his alter ego with a gun and survive it. It is probably by far one of my favorite films in existence.
I know it's a favorite for a lot of people. Sure. Crazy.
So, Kate, if you could say something to the world out there, like to anyone, right? What would you say?
Sure. This is such a difficult question. You could have asked me something a little easier. But I think that if I could say anything.
Anything to anyone.
I need to think about the words. Like,
you don't have to, you can just express it. You don't have to put it in like a one-worded catchphrase.
watch people, observe them. Don't always listen to what they have to say, because what sometimes the person has to say kind of leads you down a straight path and you don't really actually get to know a person. So my thing is, rather do a little bit more observation rather than actually taking them based on word value, because a lot of the time people are actually lying, and they're lying for varied reasons. So I would say that.
It's a bunch of brains manipulating each other.
Exactly. Exactly. I feel your actions are run by the heart, whereas what comes out of your mouth is basically through, if you could call it, the brain. And the brain will do anything allow you to say anything to protect yourself. So again, let your heart tell you what the true person is based on their actions, rather than letting the brain basically manipulate you to tell beautiful, sweet words of lies.
But Kate, unfortunately, the brain makes the heart beat.
It does, but neither one of them can survive without the other.
Oh, so the brain needs to keep the heart alive.
Exactly. And the brain.
Oh, sweet Charunaroo. Kate, I would like to thank you for coming on board the Kanai podcast. It was very enjoyable having you on the show with me. Thank you very much for being my friend and joining in onto this podcast. I'm looking forward to more of these.
Awesome, that'll be great. Thanks, Carl, for inviting me.